Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alicia, and today I'll be going over my August wrap-up. Before we begin, I just want to check in. How are you guys doing? How is the end of summer, early fall treating you? I am so excited for fall to come. I live in Portland, Oregon, and so if you haven't heard, there's been a lot of wildfires going on lately. The smoke quality or the air quality is really bad. So hoping for some well-needed rain. Last week I tried this new drink from Pete's. It has oat milk. It's like their cold brew oat milk latte, something like that. It's really good. Recommend you try it. Well, without any further ado, let's get right into it. The first book that I finished in August is Brain on Fire by Susannah Cahalan. This is an autobiography of Susannah, who was a reporter, or is. I'm not entirely sure if she still continued being a reporter. I didn't follow up on what her life after was, but she talks about being misdiagnosed for a psychological disorder when she in fact had a rare autoimmune disorder called NDMA receptor encephalitis. If you do see me looking down, it's because that's where my notes are. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I know a lot of people in booktube tend to not rate memoirs or autobiographies or biographies in general. I think it's important to rate them, not because we're rating the experience of the author, but I am rating it based on the experience and even on the things that I learned from them. So for that, I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. She is an excellent writer. She used to be a reporter, and so she does have excellent communication skills. I enjoyed her journey of telling us how she started having mild symptoms all the way up to her psyche breaking and experiencing this out-of-body experience, I guess. So I really enjoyed that. What I didn't enjoy was certain technical details of science and the medical related terminology. Didn't quite enjoy that, and that's entirely my fault. If you do enjoy that technicality and that extra information, I think you'll really enjoy it because she is a really good writer. The next book that I finished in the month of August is Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman. This is the second book in the arc of Scythe. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Scythe. I think that it's really difficult to kind of top, but overall, without even reading the toll, this is definitely in my top YA fantasy series. I find the concept amazing. I like his writing style, and I always enjoy reading these books. Never want to put them down. I can't wait to pick up the toll. If you don't know what this is about, it takes place in a world where there's no longer hunger, there's no longer poverty, there's no wars. We have a massive computer called the Thunderhead who kind of rules over everybody's lives, and we essentially live forever. Except there is a separate division called the Scythum, and they glean people. They have a certain number of people that they kill or glean in order to kind of like halt population growth, and this is all supposed to be random. Now the series in general takes off when there's 2 apprentices who are being trained to be scythes, and from there we learn that humans are corrupt, that humans are greedy, that humans crave power. And so if you like YA fantasy, I highly recommend, although I'm sure you've already heard about this because it's a very popular series. The next book that I finished in the month of August is a widely beloved, iconic sci-fi book, and that is Dune by Herbert. I'm not going to go much into detail because I did give it its own dedicated video. Overall, I did give it a 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. I actually really enjoyed reading the philosophical nature of this book, and also following the political intrigue and mind games and the motivations behind characters' actions. Really enjoyed that. What I didn't really enjoy is Herbert's writing style. It is very omniscient third person where you get to hear everybody's thoughts and everybody's words. It doesn't really leave a lot of air of suspense. and I completely hated Paul, who is our main character. But yeah, if you want a more in-depth review, go ahead and check out that video. The next book that I finished in the month of August is Pretty Girls by Karin. I myself don't read a lot of horror or a lot of thriller or mystery books, so picking this up really took my horror reading to the next level. I am someone whose favorite horror film is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so I do love gore. I don't get scared very easily, but this book is not for the faint of heart. A lot of fucked up shit happens in it. I did write down a trigger list, if I can find it. So let's see. Trigger warnings: rape, dark matter subject, torture, violence against women, murder, assault. Yeah, again, not for the faint of heart. If you want to know what this book is about, this follows two sisters who are estranged. When they were younger, their younger sister went missing, and the book follows two alternating timelines of what happened to her sister and then how they reconnect in the future. That is all that I really want to say about this book, because it is a thriller. Again, just if you're not in the right headspace, I wouldn't recommend you picking this book up right now, because it is like some fucked up shit. It just really happens. But overall, I loved it. Gave it a 4 out of 5. The next 3 books that I read, I would consider them just essential reads for everybody. The first one of those being The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. Now, if you've seen the movie adaptation, it really is, the movie adaptation really does follow it to a T. However, I think that some subjects are explored a little bit more delicately in the book. It's very easy to read. It's very digestible. The writing style is very simple, but it's also very poignant, and the story is very immersive. If you don't know what this book is about, this follows our main character, Star. She is in the car with her childhood friend when they get pulled over by cops, and her friend is shot and killed in front of her. This, again, is really relevant to everything that is going on currently in the United States. It covers everything from colorism to racism to injustice and the justice system, police corruption. It's a really important read. I gave it a 5 out of 5. For a YA contemporary novel, it was extremely well written, super poignant, and again, I really think that this is a necessary read. The next book that I finished in August, and another one of those books that I think should be mandatory reads, is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. I gave this book a 5 out of 5. I completely love Maya Angelou's writing style. I genuinely feel that every word in this book specifically is intentional. You not only get to see the narrator lose her innocence and grow up and learn more about the world, you also get to see that through the writing style. Instead of her telling you how to feel, she makes you feel that just by reading through the novel itself. And right from the beginning, she cuts through all the bullshit and just goes straight into the meat, which I loved. Again, if you don't know what this book is about, this follows Maya when she was younger and she was shipped to her grandma's in the South, and you get to hear about her time there, and then later when she lives up in the North back during the 1930s, I believe. Was it that? I don't think it was the 1930s. It must have been after the war. 1940s, I believe. I do apologize. I can't remember what time period this was. But again, another mandatory read, and I loved every second of it. The next book that I finished in August, and another mandatory read that I think, is Hood Feminism by Mikki, Kendall. This book is a nonfiction book, and it explores intersectionality and white feminism and how that in itself is not inclusive and tends to marginalize and oppress people instead of being inclusive. I gave this book a 5 out of 5. I thought it was fantastic. It really presents topics in a new light, and it's so inclusive, and again, it really cuts through all the bullshit and talks about everything that is wrong and actual ways to go about it and fix it, and it's just awesome. Highly recommend for you to pick up Hood Feminism. The last book that I read in August, but definitely not the least, is Trevor Noah's Born a Crime. Well, this month was really nonfiction heavy for me, but if there's one book that you pick out from this wrap-up at all, have it be Born a Crime. I loved this book. 5 out of 5. Loved, loved, loved. I can't say it there's no other way I can express it. This book made me laugh out loud. Books usually don't make me laugh at all. It made me cry. It made me angry. I got to learn about pre and post apartheid in South Africa. It's just great. All that you really need to know is that it goes over Trevor Noah's time growing up in South Africa. That's really all you need to know. I'm still thinking about it now. And honestly, this book brought me back to my childhood. I feel like any book that can do that is just amazing. So please, 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 please pick it up. But that is it for today. Let me know if you've read any books that I mentioned. Did you like them? Did you hate them? Do you disagree with me on any other things that I said? Comment down below, and also just let me know how you're doing. Yeah, that was it. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you haven't already subscribed and liked this video, please go ahead and do that, and I'll see you next time.